More than 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter in our community. From our studios in St. Clair, you're watching Focus with Paul Dingeman.
Well, ho, 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 and a Merry Christmas, and nice to see you. We've got two segments today that are very, very interesting. We're starting first with a home tour that you should get your ticket for because it's going to be very, very worthwhile. Down on the end here is Pat Davis, the Presidente of the Marine City Civic Women's Club.
Yes.
And you've got along with you Terry Beatty. Nice to see you, Terry, and Nancy Molnar. Yep. How many years has the Civic Women's Club been doing home tour, Christmas holiday home tours?
Actually, this is our 25th anniversary.
Is it? Wow.
Yeah, 25 years. They started in 1999. And they had done a lot of refurbishing at a muddy lot that the city bequests to them that they could make it pretty. So they put in trees, they brought in truckloads of dirt and the grass seed, and they took this muddy downtown lot and made it into this beautiful place just to sit and enjoy the St. Clair River and watch
It's along the
boats
river?
go by.
Where is it?
It's directly, we call it in the heart of Marine City. It's the park with the blue arch. And it has a freighter up in the center, and we have a
across from Sweet Tooth.
Right across from the Sweet Tooth.
Because it's a tradition now. People get their ice cream and they go and sit there.
Yep. Get their ice cream.
It's a wonderful park.
It is. It's beautiful. And we had assumed the responsibility and the price of the benches that are there. And if you ever go by during the summer, you'll see that park out of all of them is the fullest. And that's because people are having their dessert there.
Yeah.
So we decided we needed some more benches. And when we made this decision, it happened to be when COVID came about. So we went and we thought, okay, we can't do a fundraiser. So instead of not having a fundraiser, what can we do? And then that's where we opened up the idea of someone donating a bench in memory of a family member or for whatever reason. And in fact, Terry's family, they graciously donated the benches. How does it read on the bench?
It's in memory of our loving parents, Marie and Ed Kleeman, and my husband's parents, Elta and Jim Beatty. So we have one bench with two.
Oh, wonderful. And just a nice park.
Yep. And
we love
them. So they took that park and we expanded, and now we need to maintain it. And this summer our project was, we took the berm, which was down by the river, and the main purpose of the berm gives an edge to the park, but it also blocks out any of all the stuff that is like dumpsters and so on along the river behind the restaurant. So people
there's a lot of businesses along there.
Sure. And so they don't want to see that. So we took out a lot of overgrown bushes. We replanted the hydrangea plants. We had the assistance of Marine City Nursery, and then Matt Aspenleiter, bless his heart, he donated a week of his labor with to come and to lay all the flagstone that encircles that whole thing. It's going to be beautiful. Mm-hmm. And we have some fencing that went up just to be able to continue to block that area. So we looked for money to do this, and how do we get money? But through fundraisers. Right. So we had one, which was the home tour, and then we expanded to start our wine tasting at the Fish Company, and that is the last Monday in August. Okay. And then 2 years ago, once now it's two. I keep wanting to say Two Rivers. No, it's Water Street Winery, and they are so wonderful to work with us. And so we also have a wine tasting in the spring, usually in March, with them. So those three efforts have allowed us to...
A little work, a little fun.
Yep. Yeah. Brings in the money, and we have two members that have just donated benches. So we have a beautiful 3-row seating where these people can watch the water and enjoy themselves on the benches.
As my phone keeps going off here.
It's a curse.
Made you guys turn off your phones, and I got mine on.
So it's our 25th anniversary, and so we're very excited.
Wonderful. Well, in order to support the park work that you do, you have to have a fundraiser, as you've mentioned, wine tasting. But this time of year, it's the holiday home tour. Let's get into that and find out what's going on.
Great.
First off, if Sully will throw up that one slide where we've got all the pictures of the houses. Let's start with that one, Sully. There it is, right there. So you've got 7 different locations where people will be able to go on the Saturday, December 14th from 5 until 9 p.m. Was it earlier during other years?
No,
During the day? It's always been 5 to 9?
Mhm.
Okay. And they're just some remarkable places. Let's start and talk about them.
Okay, well, I think the one that it's in St. Clair, so we kind of stepped out of our comfort zone, but through relationship and through the generosity of the Brennan family, we're going to start. Nancy will tell you a little bit about the Brennan home.
The Brennan home has just been spectacular since Dan Brennan and his wife, I can't remember her name. Heather have taken it over. Obviously a great institution, old institution in the city of St. Clair for hundreds of years probably. And they've restored it and remodeled it, and the Halloween display was spectacular, and now it's all full of Christmas trees and lights and stuff.
Beautiful.
And they're going to have, the public can go through.
And Nancy will give you a little more
Okay,
detail.
so you were close. It was built, from the information that we received from Dan and Heather, it was built in 1880. So there's quite an interesting little history behind it. Not to give too much, has 12-foot high ceilings. The woodwork is black walnut. There's a butler's pantry, which has an original safe that used to be used for the silver, to house the silver for the home. There was a tunnel that used to run between that home and the neighbor to the north,
really?
which was a family member that built
Right.
that home as well. And then it ran out to the river
Right.
before the roadway was there. There are 6 bedrooms, 6 fireplaces, 4 full bathrooms, 3 half baths, 3 parlors, a sunroom, and nearly 10,000 square feet
And a heck of a heating
in that
bill.
home, and a heck of a heating bill. So they actually, at this point, have not done a lot of modification to it yet.
Right.
They're trying to actually, I believe their plan is to restore, not renovate. So, so they're looking at a whole lot of different things, but they have craftsmen that are working on probably wood and anything that they're going to need that they would like to put back into the home. There were some changes over the years with various things, but some pieces were taken out of the
I
home.
went through it
Some glass was gone.
numbers of years ago, probably 35, 40 years ago, and there was elephant wallpaper.
It was elephant skin.
Elephant skin wallpaper.
Wallpaper.
I don't know if they still have
It's
pieces
still
of-
It's still underneath. It's in the foyer in the front.
Just amazing.
And yeah, that was kind of a big deal when you
Yeah.
told us that.
So I
So-
actually can take my, is there a limit of ages to go through the house or anything like that?
You know, as long as
I mean,
people are
little kids
respectful
or-
of the
Well, as
properties
a-
in general.
And if it takes a ticket,
Yeah.
we do have our tickets, and usually very small children, we encourage them not to, because there are a lot of artifacts in all of the homes that are, so, for the safety of the home itself.
Another question, and then we'll get into the rest of the houses, but while I think of it, shoes. It's going to be winter. It's December 14th. Do I have to remove my shoes, or do they have little booties, or?
We have both. We have booties
Both?
and we'll have bags.
Right.
Both
And
ways,
and
so-
our experienced people who tour, they bring slippers.
Right.
They,
Oh,
they
okay.
know, and they bring,
Right, the ones
they
that
have
have
their
been-
bag. Some have now a tote bag with Christmas trees on it. They throw their
throw
boots
their
in there,
shoes
they
in.
put their slippers on. But we do have at every home a bag to put your shoes in,
Oh,
to
great
travel
idea.
throughout the house.
Yeah.
And then we do have booties that are available.
Okay, so it's from December 14th, from 5 until 9, and we've got the first house. Anything more about the first house?
Nope, I'm
Well,
good
ju-
with that. I'm
tell
gonna.
them a little bit about the parking, because
Oh,
it is
yeah,
right
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
on
yeah.
that,
the street.
right, on that home, there's no parking in the front.
On
Of
North
course, that's on
Riverside.
29. And in the back, there's 3rd Street, which
Yeah.
has parking, I believe, just on one side. So there might be a little bit of a challenge, if you will, with finding a parking place, because we expect
Is there-
that home to be busy.
Is there parking at the house?
There
itself?
is the Carriage House parking lot will be open behind. But there's 2 private driveways on either end of the
Inside.
property, and then, and that's just coming in from 3rd Street.
Okay.
So parking on 3rd Street, or if it's a nice evening, hopefully we'll be blessed with good weather, and the parking lot for the plaza is
Yeah.
a half a block.
Right,
It's not far.
right, right.
It's not far.
All right, that's an exciting
Yeah.
opening.
That'll be a fun one.
Where are we going after that one?
Well,
You want to put the other slide up, Sully? Hold on, there we go.
going in order, we can go to the Mullins house, top left on the corner there. And that home actually the construction was in let me get my notes here so I have it correctly for you. It was built in 1885, and it was built by Dr. Baird, who became the mayor of Marine City, was quite active and had a lot of opportunity with the educational system. So Dr. Baird was very well known, and then in 1883, the owner, Dr. Baird, he's the one that built the Colonial Hotel, which was on the corner, I don't know if you remember that, of Union and Water Street, and the hotel burnt down in 1955. And we had mineral baths, and people used to come from all over. And I was really little, and I remember driving by with my mother, and I didn't want her to go around that corner because it just stunk like rotten eggs so bad. So that's my memory, the rotten eggs and the fire that occurred, right? So currently today, it has quite an eclectic blend of it's called folk Victorian and slick style. And the house is currently owned by David and Corrine Mullins. Okay. And she was so excited to put the home on tour, and especially if you go by now as you're, finding out where everything is located. The exterior is beautifully decorated. She has a wreath in every single window in front. It's just lit up. It's just done beautifully, and she's so proud and excited to show the interior of the home. Along with that, in back of the home, there was a carriage house, and the carriage house has been converted to an Airbnb. And that's something that we've added in the last couple of years. The churches have been so wonderful, and all churches have participated with us throughout the years, but rather than keep asking them all the time, don't prepare, because there's a lot of preparation they'll do with it. We've started with Airbnbs, and we figured that even though people in town aren't going to use them, they may have relatives coming from out of town, and it gives them a chance to look
see what they look like.
And so that's going to be open. So you get a double header at that one with the Airbnb and the home itself. And this is on Main Street in Marine City, and on Main Street you cannot park. So the parking, they live right on a corner. So any of the side streets, and both of the houses are close to side streets. She's right on the corner of one, so if you just park right there on the side
And you guys have very distinctive Christmas trees.
Yes.
In front of the houses. They're plywood.
Yeah.
But they're nice and big, and people can really see them.
Right.
And they point out where the house is,
Right.
so that people will be.
And we've had them up now for a couple of weeks so that people have an opportunity, especially a lot of women in the car, they're all visiting. And what we've found out is a lot of the women that are going to be the driver that night, they go on and they follow our map, and they go around and make sure they know where everything is, which is really smart, because when you're visiting and laughing, you might say, where's that house? I don't know.
Right.
So
we missed it.
Yep. So that's the Mullins house that we have there. And a great vacation spot is an Airbnb, though, for the fact it's only 2 blocks from downtown Marine City.
Right.
And then the next house underneath that is the Laboon, which that happens to be my house also to talk about. And that was built by, or not built, it was currently owned by Jesse and Courtney Laboon. And it was built in 1996, and the Laboons purchased it in 2004. Now, it was a beautiful Victorian home, and they converted it, because Victorian that wasn't their lifestyle. So they converted it to the beautiful home, personalized it to their needs. Now, when we went through it, it was exciting, because Courtney showed us how this wall went out and this wall, and it's just beautiful inside. It was beautiful as Victorian, but they really did a wonderful job with it. The features there, Courtney, and she has 3 children, and Jesse also, they're all tremendously involved with Marine City sports.
Correct.
So in the basement, they have, it's like a guy's den down there, and a lot of Marine City memorabilia and the dad, her dad, Warren Singer, he also was very active in sports when he was back in school. So there's trophies, memorabilia, all the way back to the years when he went to high school, which would have been in the 50s.
And Jesse does color broadcasting for CTV.
That's right.
Along with Craig Zimmerman. They do the football and basketball sports for us for Marine City High School. So great people.
They are.
That'll be an exciting house too.
And what they also did, somehow she's going to do something exciting with it. She wants to surprise me and all of us. But they created out and back. They call it the Laboon Lagoon. And so
It's neat.
the back of their house is on Bell River, and so they have a beautiful pool area. And of course, being Singer's Nursery, the landscaping is just top notch. It's just stellar, and they have this beautiful bar out there, and it's like a cocktail lounge. And she's going to do something special outside. We have to wait
she's
till
going to do it, it'll be spectacular.
yeah. So that is the Laboon House, and they're located in East China, and it's a little subdivision, kind of a dead-end street west of Urban Drive.
Okay.
So, and it's called
okay.
Park Ridge. Park
Okay.
Ridge Drive is where they're located.
But in your brochure, is there
In the
We have a
tip.
map.
Yes,
There is a map in there.
Yep.
all right.
It's a good one.
it's very detailed
yes.
in.
I'll open that up here.
Yeah.
There you go, Sully. We can take a
Did
picture of
actually
that.
work.
So there's a map in each one that, each catalog, there you go. I can never get it straight there. So yeah, it's easy to get around, and the homes are all decorated, and they've got that green sign in front of them with a big Christmas tree on it.
Yep.
So. All right, what's next?
And our next home then, let's go right across, and the quarters. And
Okay, the quarters.
Terry's going to tell us about the quarters.
The quarters has recently been purchased by Heather and Darian Hatcher. Make sure that's right.
Okay.
And they have an arcade in the bottom, which is really fun. My husband and I walk down there and play the pinball machines. But also Heather developed a Airbnb on top of that, and I hear it's just absolutely gorgeous. And that's, again, for people who would like to come and not stay in a hotel, but
Yeah.
an Airbnb.
And that one's
Or you got a relative coming in, and
Yeah, and it's the location's great. It's
Yeah.
right down in the middle of all the activity. And
that was a
Hatcher's-
guitar store.
Yes, it was. It was a music store.
Yeah.
And many years ago,
It was my mother and dad's sporting goods store.
Oh my.
they were
Yes.
the first sporting goods stores in
Oh, wow.
in Union
Oh,
City.
my.
I think that
I
was in the
remember that.
1980s.
Yep.
Yep, that's where they opened their first one.
Wow.
So, there's a lot of history. I've
Yeah. It
was a
learned a lot of
drugstore
history. It was a
when-
drugstore.
yeah,
Yep.
Hagberg's.
Yep. Hagberg's.
So,
But the Hatchers.
Will the Airbnb be open also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Actually, Gail and myself will be the host for the Airbnb.
Okay.
So yes, it's open.
Wonderful.
It'll be fun.
All right.
Gives people an opportunity if they wouldn't have gone into the
Yeah.
arcade
Yeah.
to get in, see what it's all like. Local people, wanting to have something to do for
Right.
the kids. It's a wonderful place for
Yep,
the
it is.
kids in
Yeah,
town.
yeah.
It is, and the adults.
Yep. And then, so moving on from that, then we have the Warner home.
Okay, the Warner home. In the Warner home, you have to excuse me, I'm having trouble reading because I have my glasses. But in the 1950s and 60s, it was known as the Chestnut House, Chestnut Lady House, because of the big chestnuts.
On the lawn.
On the lawn, correct.
Okay.
And then it was sold to a Tom Kleeman, and it remained in that family for 100 years.
100 years.
100 years until I don't know how the lineage goes of the owners, but the current owners are Catherine and David Warner. But the fact that it was Tom Kleeman and my maiden name is Kleeman, I thought, my husband did a little research, and Tom Kleeman is my dad's grandfather's. Wait, I'm going to write this down. My dad's.
Are we going to do an ancestor?
No, this will be quick. It's my dad's grandfather's brother.
Twice removed by 4 cousins.
Yeah, right. So what was
For the
kind of
neighbor.
interesting that it was in the Kleeman family for 100 years, and I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
didn't know.
That I did not know that.
And you didn't get a
Nope.
chance to get in there until you bought a ticket.
Yeah, but I hope to get in it before the opening hours. Yes. So it will be fun.
Yeah.
Cottage in the back.
Oh, that's right. And there's a cottage in the back.
Cottage in the back.
Is it
Are
going to
they
be
on
open?
the St. Clair River?
No,
They're on Main Street.
On Main Street.
Another
Sorry about
one
that.
that you'd park on the side street,
Okay.
you know, to get to. And this little cottage in the back,
Yes.
well, tell them a little bit about that.
I don't know about the
Oh,
turkey.
Yeah.
It's her craft cottage.
It's a
Yeah.
she shed,
A she
we
shed.
call
Oh,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so she had said, well, we'd like to do that. And then God love the husband. He kind of thought, oh, God, now they got to get that ready. But she said, oh, and so it's women that like hobbies, which
Yeah,
I think is
yeah. Mm-hmm.
almost everybody. We'll have a hostess out there, and they'll come out there and get to see this little she shed. And I bet a lot of them are going to go home with some good ideas.
Ideas.
Oh,
looks
yeah.
like a
It'll
be
big.
fun.
It looks like a great big dollhouse.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
it
that's
does.
wonderful.
And you
It does.
can't see it from the street. It's just right behind, right in there.
Yeah,
Behind the house.
Darling.
it's on the
Okay.
south
Yeah,
side,
so
yeah.
that's a little bonus on that one.
Yes.
Then the next one, the Snyder home, and Nancy's going to be at that.
Okay, Nancy, you're
So
on.
the Snyder home is cedar-sided cabin style. So it's a newer home. It was built in 1984. Jerry and Stephanie Snyder are the owners presently. They purchased the home in July of 2020. They were formerly my mother's neighbors. So I was sorry to see them move, but they have a lovely house. So this is a pretty open inside, actually. It's very comfortable. I think it's a very comfortable house. I've been over there numerous times. Jerry has decorated quite extensively outside. I'm told it's like the Griswold home, so I'm going to start
Is
calling
this right
him
on
Clark.
Meister?
It is on Madison, which
Madison,
is off
okay.
just off of River Road.
Okay.
It's a short road, really, between
I got my map.
between
My
the two
map right
rivers,
here, I should
between
check.
the two rivers
Between
in East
Urban-
China.
Yeah,
Oh,
between
okay.
Urban
So
Drive
it's
and-
not a very long, maybe a mile long
Okay.
road. But we're excited to see that one. They have the main floor is pretty much open plan, and you can go upstairs. And the same thing upstairs. There's a bedroom, a bathroom, and an open seating area. So I'm excited
These are really
to see.
quality houses you've got this
And
year.
of good variety, I
Yeah,
think, this year.
yeah.
From
Really
a
good
log
variety.
cabin home, which
Right,
because it
a
looks
log
log
cabin
cabin,
style.
and up to a old historical mansion.
Yeah.
So it suits
Yeah.
everybody's
Yeah, really.
fancy.
Have we got them all? No, and then
That's
the
it.
museum.
And the
Yeah, the
Marine City
museum.
Museum, the Pride and Heritage Museum.
And
That'll
that's
be our
when-
will call tickets, and they always have a nice little group of people there. And if anybody'd like to tour the museum, I'm thinking they probably wouldn't have a big trouble with that. So
There's a couple save the dates in your
ticket.
ticket here. Cabin Fever Wine and Culinary Experience at Water Street Winery and Brewery Company. That's on March the 11th. And then Monday, August 25th, celebrate the end of summer with wine tasting at Marine City Fish.
August?
So,
Yes,
yeah, you
that's
got a
right.
couple things going there.
Yep.
What have we missed?
I think that's pretty much is it.
That's
so
it, yeah.
there-
And
those
visit
are
our
all-
park.
And the merchants do have tickets, and
Oh, yes.
we have
There's-
posters
we're
all
gonna
over
slide
town. Here's
if,
a slide
um,
with all,
Give me the other slide, so the next one.
and we
there
have
you
tickets
go.
for sale
That's
in Marine City and St. Clair, and then we do have a couple in Port Huron. So there's tickets available all over.
and now
$20 is the price, in
Yes,
case we didn't
and which
mention that.
includes all the homes, because
Right.
we had some people call and they thought that was just like for one house.
Yeah.
And I said, no, 20 is for all of them.
Well, it's a delightful program, and you've done it very successfully for so many years. So, hopefully, with the addition of the Brennan House and the other houses, that you'll have a spectacular turnout this year.
And in our 25 years, we've had over 123 homes, and now we have 5 more, so we're up to 128 homes that
Wow.
people have generously opened up and allowed people to come
Yeah.
through.
Because it's a lot of work for the homeowner.
Oh, yes, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, and when after it's over, one thing I heard about having your home on a home tour is don't attend yourself, because people will say, "Oh, look at that orange color; it's terrible." Whether you like the orange, but they don't, or whatever. But it's a great civic project.
Sure is, and it's because of their generosity. You know, that has changed a little bit. When they used to do the home tour, say 20, 30 years ago, the homeowners, they asked them to leave.
Right.
But now, because of the homes, and we have people stationed for the security throughout the
Okay.
house and to guide and make sure everybody is, not touching, so it's very safe. A lot of the homeowners, in fact, it's very seldom that they leave.
Okay.
And because people come through, and it's the beginning of the season, and all you hear are oohs and ahs, and they love it, and the decorating, and it's a wonderful way to begin,
To begin the season.
that holiday season.
All right, it's a holiday home tour from the Marine City Civic Women's Club, Saturday, December the 14th, 5 until 9 p.m. And tickets are $20. Available all over Marine City and St. Clair.
That's
Don't
right.
miss it. I think it's going to be spectacular this
It
year.
will be. And thank you again for allowing
Thank you.
us to
Oh,
come.
not a problem. Any final thoughts?
No, I'm good.
I
Visit our
do.
park.
I have final thoughts. We will have tickets at the houses.
Oh, good.
If
That's
you
a
don't
good
have
point.
a ticket and you want to come, we can sell you a ticket.
Okay.
At,
That'd be
at
$50.
home.
No.
No, but that's a good idea.
What do you think, Pat?
And to a little segue from that is the merchants do have the tickets at their stores, because sometimes you'll have a last minute friend say, oh, I want to go. So
Yeah.
the tickets are going to be available. And then the museum, they're
Right.
open till 9 with it, and they have tickets there too.
They'll have tickets
So
as well.
museum is open beyond the store hours to 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And the restaurants in town love us because almost every group that goes
Yep.
through, they're either going to go to dinner before or after.
Yep.
And it's just a whole package deal.
Yep.
It's a
Great
great
idea.
way.
Great support. The holiday home tour from the Marine City Civic Women's Club. They do great work in the park and want to continue that. They need your support, so we're glad they came here. Talk to you in just a minute. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and we've got Deborah Johnson, Miss Deborah Johnson, the Executive Director of the St. Clair County Community Mental Health. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you always.
You wear a number of hats, one of which is United Way. So, and this year they gave you the honor of being the General Chairman. How much longer does that drive continue?
I guess it depends on who you ask. Initially, I thought I might be done at this point, but the campaign runs actually through
June.
St. Patty's Day.
St.
Because they have that St. Patrick's Day breakfast,
Yes,
big
yes,
breakfast
yes.
up at the north end. And there's usually there's another fundraising event there, like raffle baskets
Yeah.
and things like that. So that is the closeout, I think. That's the
Okay.
closer. So it's been challenging, but it's fun. And I really hope that people are paying attention to some of the things that we've been talking about, because the United Way really does a lot of things. A lot of things I don't even know if I knew all the things that they did. But for example, they do emergency utility assistance. So
Oh,
especially
really?
that's important now for somebody. If you don't have enough money to pay your SEMCO or DTE bills, especially the one for heat, you could call the United Way, and there is they'll tell you what the process is to potentially access the money to help you. Or if you need rental assistance, or maybe even emergency housing, there's funding available. So there's a process on how you access the money. But the best way to learn is to try it out, give a call.
Yeah,
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
that's fine.
But anyways, there's that, and then of course most people do know about the medical loan closet.
Yeah.
But there's not just crutches. There's wheelchairs. There's adult briefs. There's a lot of different things. Canes. The porta potty chairs. There's a lot of things for people that might have some handicap accessibility issues and things like that.
For temporary use or
Yeah,
permanent use.
temporary or permanent.
Yeah.
But it's a loan, it's free. So, give them a call if you need something.
Okay.
And if you're not sure if they do something, call. But also check out the website. And I know that Tara Reyna, she works in the office, and like the office, I think she's like the office manager, I think. But she is in the process of updating the brochures so that, they're all current with the things that they offer. And I think that would be very good. And the website's getting updated too to make sure people know. And then Facebook, they're trying to make sure they get stuff out there so people could like and follow the United Way on Facebook. And, hopefully we're still doing that Give Me High Five
Yep.
for the United Way. So we're trying to get people to give us $5 each time you ask somebody to collect $100 in total. We did have one drawing already at the Centennial Celebration. We gave away 3 great prizes to people who had, from the people that turned in their envelopes. We drew winners.
Right.
So that was great. We decided to run the campaign that particular initiative until the end of the campaign.
Okay.
So if anybody wants one of those envelopes, I should have brought one to wave it around. But
Right.
but I'll bring it next time because
Right.
we'll still be going.
Right.
So, but if anybody had questions about United Way, want to make a contribution, give me a call.
I think that is important. People have thought about United Way for a long, long time, but then maybe they aren't fresh with what all the events or all the functions that they can they can get from United Way. So
Yeah, and the other thing, United Way currently funds, I believe it's over 25 organizations and
Wow.
over 40 different programs. So one of my favorite programs, I've talked about this, and I think you've interviewed Riley Alley about the Imagination Library.
Right.
That was started. The funding initially came from Dolly Parton Foundation and grants and things, but the United Way helps keep that program going. And that's where children 0 to 5 get an age-appropriate book mailed to their house every single month.
And that comes from United Way.
Yeah.
I think that's something people should know.
Yeah, and so we're really hoping that people will, hop on board and start to help fund all these great things.
Let's turn our page here.
Yes,
and
let's.
go to St. Clair County Community Mental Health, where you spend 99% of your time, and talk about mental wellness during holidays.
Yeah,
It's a tough time.
It can be a very tough time for a lot of people, and it was kind of funny when I did the Paul Miller show the other day. The lead-in was that music, the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah.
And because that's what people say, it's the holidays, the most wonderful time of the year. Christmas. Who doesn't love all the pretty decorations, the lights, all those kinds of things, getting and giving gifts? Well, for some people, it can be very overwhelming. It can be very anxiety-producing. It can bring a lot of stress. And so some of the tips that we offer to people and they're pretty simple tips. It's just like, the first one is like set priorities and set realistic expectations. So, and especially with how you're expecting your day to turn out. I mean, most of us, I would say probably all of us, have some issues within our family dynamics where there might be some things that are not quite how we wish they were during this time of the year. And that causes additional stress and anxiety because everybody wants everybody to be happy at this time of the year.
It's not going to happen.
Want to get along, but if you weren't all year, it's probably not going to change that day, but it might, so don't give up. Keep trying, I guess. But don't feel pressure to have a perfect holiday. Perfect holidays happen on the Hallmark show.
Yep.
I love watching them. They're beautiful. The scenery, everything. But that's typically not what happens. The other thing is in terms of presents and things like that, I would prioritize experiences more than actual material things. Or if it's a ticket, like, taking the family to a Red Wings game, taking your family to a play at the theater. What does your family like to do? There's a lot of fun things to do in our community. Even there's a lot of great things. Do something like that. A gym membership. Do things together. So the other thing is stick to a budget. People tend to go way overboard at Christmas. Charge, especially if it's charging. And then you don't want to have to pay for Christmas all year long. You want to you pay for it in December, be done in December.
And you don't have to buy the biggest thing in the world. People appreciate little things that are sincere and meaningful. Right,
and meaningful is the key. And so I think make sure you stick to the budget. Homemade gifts are great.
Yeah,
and even, and if you're not crafty, I'm not.
Right.
But you can offer, like, this coupon is good for 5 babysitting sessions, or for me to cut your grass 5 times, or shovel your walkway, or whatever. Those are good things kids can do.
Right.
So and adults, but also practice mindful scheduling. And what I mean by that is, don't say yes to everything. That's my biggest problem. I'm trying not to.
That was the biggest thing I had to learn in my life, was to say no. Well, will you be on this committee? Will you be? No, I finally learned the word no.
I know I haven't fully learned that yet. Sure, I'll help. But even like when people want you to do things or come to things, I feel I really need you to be there. Okay, I'll come. So it's something I need to work on too. But definitely don't overschedule yourself. Don't overcommit yourself. Make sure during this time you get proper sleep, eat and drink, reasonably well. There's so many sweet treats during the holiday.
Yeah.
We tend to want all that stuff, and sometimes there's holiday parties where there's alcohol, and people may overindulge in that. Well, don't. I mean, especially if don't drink and drive.
Right.
But still, think about your overall health and what you got going on, and try to do the right things and make good choices.
That's right.
And then I guess I kind of said the last thing, but not really. There's one more. Like to honor your feelings. It's okay if you're sad. But it's also okay if you're happy, because sometimes somebody told me they feel kind of guilty because they had so much fun at this event, but they lost a loved one in the last year. Well, that doesn't mean that loved one doesn't want you to be sad all through the
No,
holidays.
no,
They'll be
no.
happy that you're happy.
Right.
And so it's okay. So don't feel guilty about being happy, or by the same token, don't feel guilty if you don't feel happy and you don't want to be at some stuff. So honor your feelings, give yourself some grace, and just get through the best that you can.
You've also got, coming up just after the first of the year, you've got creative contests, which you've done over the years.
Yes, we have.
They involve a lot of youth in St. Clair County.
Yes. We do 3 contests, which it's really a nice opportunity at kids at every grade level to participate in a creative activity, and also hopefully learn about mental health and messaging, our messaging and things like that. So at elementary school level, it's a bookmark, and you've seen those before. They're just about this big. And the theme is I am a friend, because we want little kids to learn, be a friend to everybody. Don't like, oh, I can't be that person's friend because they got 4 eyes like glasses.
Right.
I have them too. I can't just point at you. But kids do have differences, and we talk about that. But be a friend, be nice, treat people how you want to be treated, right?
That's right.
So you can teach little kids that, and usually little kids are better about that. Once you get older, it gets a little more challenging, I think. But middle school poetry contest, that was writing. We used to do fiction and a nonfiction story, and then the poetry. The most entries always come in on the poetry, so we decided let's just go the poetry category this year, and let's see how that goes. So we're going to see, and the theme for that is building brighter tomorrows, health, wellness, and connection. And that theme kind of ties. In 2025 will be our 60th anniversary of St. Clair County Community Mental Health being in this community.
Wow.
As Community Mental Health, it was created 60 years ago next year.
Yep.
So we're saying, so that's where we came up with building brighter tomorrows, because we've continued hopefully to build, because we've gotten bigger and better, I think, progressively all the way through.
Right.
And then for high school, of course, it's the art contest. We get these great posters. Any kind of art is acceptable, except graphic art. And some people
Except graphic art.
Yeah, because if you computer generated.
Oh, okay.
Because if you do computer generated art, we had that, and one time that person maybe borrowed that from somewhere else, and you can't really do that. It needs to be your own stuff that you created. So it's just easier for us. It's too hard to vet all the pieces of artwork if they do it that way.
You've had great success in the whole county with lots of participation from all levels of grade levels, and participation has been great.
So we're hoping for that again, and I know we have had. I was just kind of looking at that. We have all the posters framed through our big hallway, the main building, and I'm like, where the schools that they're from. There's definitely a lot of St. Clair. Every high school has had winners, I think.
Yeah.
So it's been great. The deadline we sent a whole packet to every school explaining what the process is, and about the rules and instructions for the contest. But if for some reason somebody doesn't hear about it or get it from their school, or maybe you are homeschooled, or you go to
They're available too. Homeschool.
Right. Any kid in this county, I don't care what school you go to, homeschooled, any school, private schools, you're eligible, and you can go on to our website, sccmh.org, and you would just download, and you go to the events tab, and then you, I think it's the events tab, download. Yeah, search Creative Arts, and then you'll see it. So the deadline to enter is January 31st, 2025.
And historically, you take and make that a billboard.
Yes, the winning art is featured at a billboard in a couple locations. We move it through the county, and then we also use it for posters that we make that have our access information and crisis.
Or annual report sometime.
Yep, and we've even used it once for the T-shirts for the run.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Because it was a runner running down so it was perfect for the run too. So we used it for that. That girl was super impressed. She was from, and super thrilled about it, and her family was impressed with her, but she was from K-Pac. Yale.
So if I'm an artist or a student that wants to get involved and I haven't heard about it, should I go to the art department or your art teacher? Or?
You can, but if you haven't heard about it, or they say I don't know what you're talking about, then just go right to our website, and then maybe if you're a student that's ambitious, take it to your art teacher and say, hey, how come we're not doing this at school?
There you go. Okay.
Because and the other thing is, if people don't understand our theme, we're happy to send somebody to talk to a classroom, a whole group of kids, whatever, and explain what we mean by that theme.
All right, you've got a number of telephone numbers.
Yes.
That we're going to go review here, and especially this time of year. if people didn't get a hold of the agency, St. Clair County Community Mental Health, talk to me. Here we go. We've got the crisis support line and access to service line. Which is which? What is
So the crisis support line, if you are in crisis or you might be in crisis, you're not sure, or your friend, you're calling for somebody, just don't hesitate to call that number first, and that one's 810-966-2575.
24/7?
24/7, will be
human.
answered. A human being will answer that phone.
No, not a machine?
Nope. And then if you call 888-225-4447, that's a human too, but you might get put on hold for a little bit. But that's a non-crisis line, let me just say that. So if you're in crisis, that's why we've been trying to put our number first, the 966, because that is a crisis line. If you're in crisis, call that. And so yeah.
What? Wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered it all for today, but you've got always stuff that's important to the community, both United Way and St. Clair County Community Health. So,
one thing I just would add for people to keep your eyes open for some articles that are going to run in The Voice, the KEO, which is an online publication, and hopefully the Times Herald. But we're trying to raise awareness about language, the language that people use.
oh yes.
And because it seems like
Words matter, I think it was.
yeah, words matter a lot, and it seems like we're hearing about people, kids especially in all grade levels, using the R word, and I think you know what I mean by the R word. And that's just, I didn't think that anybody said it anymore, because in my circles nobody says that word. So I just thought it was gone, because it should be. It's come to be very negative and and hurtful. And a long time ago, when I was in college, I mean, it was the diagnostic category for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities at different levels. But even they realized that's not the good word, and so that word is gone. And so we're going to do things to try to raise awareness to kids. And one of the things I think is important for adults to hear about this.
Yes.
You need a role model that using good language, inclusive language, respectful language. If people hear adults saying that, they're
going to use it.
They're going to use it. They're going to think it's okay.
And their kids are going to use it.
And their kids will use it. So I really hope that the ARC, the National ARC, has done a big campaign trying to get people to stop using that word. There's been a lot of other initiatives. Michigan Protection and Advocacy in our state are just a lot of people. Organizations, advocacy organizations, know that it's just nobody wants to hear that word.
No. Well, we won't use it.
Good.
Just say that.
And watch that. Watch the
2025.
articles.
2025, we won't use it.
That would be great.
Well, Happy New Year. Happy Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
Always a pleasure to see you, darling.
Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you.
All right, that's Deb Johnson. You've got all her telephone numbers. You can give her some phone call if you need her. She'll be there, and our whole staff. That's about it for this edition of the Focus program. Thanks very much for tuning in. Till next time, Mr. Dingeman here. See ya.
Thanks for watching Focus with Paul Dingeman. Focus is produced at the CTV Community Television Studios in St. Clair. For over 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter to our community.